Nobody likes to be out of control. Lack of control can make you feel anxious and ineffective. But you need to know what you can control and what you can't control. You can't control the majority of life, what's going on around you, but you can control yourself. But knowing what that means, knowing what it means to only control yourself is very nuanced. You need to know exactly what you focus your attention on. This creates an internal locus of control. This internal locus of control helps you be awake to attention distractions, noticing those, and then alert to your surroundings. It helps you be awake and alert as a warrior in enemy territory. You engage in this enemy territory, this world, by exploration. And as I said, you can't control it, but you can explore it from this stable foundation of having developed this internal locus of control. But to explore that world, that enemy territory, requires something else. It requires trust. It requires developing an external locus of trust. Now, in this lesson, we're going to explore how to develop this internal locus of control. In the next lesson, we'll go into how to develop this external locus of trust. So you hear people say that the only thing that you can control is yourself. But can you really control yourself? For example, can you control your thoughts, your behaviors, and your emotions? Upon further investigation, you find that you really can't control those. Below thoughts, behaviors, and emotions is attention. And attention really is the only thing you can control. But it can be difficult to even control your attention. It depends on how much you've worked with and practiced being able to direct attention more purposefully, more intentionally. So a more accurate understanding is that you can't control your attention. You can only influence it. But with practice, with work with your attention over time, you can influence it in more complete ways where you can kind of control attention toward how you think and how you behave and how you work with your emotions. This is the foundation for mental training is attention and then getting better at directing it so that then you can control more of these aspects of yourself like your thoughts, your behaviors, and your emotions. So you have this basic understanding that you can't control anything outside of yourself. And as I've said, you can't even control aspects of yourself like your thoughts, your behaviors, and your emotions. The only thing you really can control is your attention, control or influence. And with more practice with your attention, then you can direct it toward thinking more helpful thoughts. And the same goes for your behaviors and emotions. Now, your ability to control or influence your attention diminishes with increasing stress. For example, you can influence your attention more when you're in your comfort zone. That ability diminishes gradually as you increase stress. Ultimately, with enough stress, you panic and your attention is totally distracted. Since you can't control the majority of life, then you need a different approach when you're doing this exploration. You need to explore with trust. You develop what I call an external locus of trust. This balances your need to be in control, and we'll investigate how to develop this external locus of trust in the next lesson. As I've said, the only thing you can control or influence is attention. So you need to know how to do this because it helps you create this internal locus of control. This internal locus of control is created with your two minds. Unmoved mind of awareness, covered in lesson number 16, flexible, agile mind of attention, covered in lesson number 17. The unmoved mind of awareness keeps you awake. You need this expanded awareness so you can notice attention distractions. The flexible, agile mind of attention keeps you alert. You're directing your attention double-arrowed, internally and externally, to what I call EBOM, or expanded body observant mind. Specifically, EB, you feel your body breathe, relax, and its expanded posture. OM, you focus your attention on the senses of feeling, hearing, and seeing. You feel the sensations on your skin, hear sounds, and see the external world. Being awake and alert like this creates a grounded observational state. And this is the foundation for developing this internal locus of control. Being awake and alert is a dynamic process. It's not a static state. Attention is continually being distracted. Specifically, it's getting distracted by being lost in thought. So you need an additional aspect to help create this internal locus of control. And that aspect is the warrior master skill. And it really only has two specific components. One is noticing and the other is redirecting. You notice attention distractions and then you redirect your attention toward being awake and alert. Your attention will continually become distracted. Therefore, you continually notice and redirect attention. This process is called waking up. This is the warrior master skill. It continually returns you to your GOS, grounded observational state, which reinforces your internal locus of control. You feel in control by knowing how to influence your attention. You're awake and alert as a warrior in enemy territory. Now you can explore that enemy territory with this external locus of trust. And like I said, we'll investigate that in the next lesson. All you can control or influence is your attention, but you need to know exactly how to do that because it impacts how you create this internal locus of control. Now, specifically to develop this internal locus of control, you have the two minds and this warrior master skill. And together, they help you be awake and alert as a warrior in enemy territory. The unmoved mind of awareness keeps you awake. The flexible, agile mind of attention keeps you alert. The warrior master skill helps you wake up continually. Here's the drill. Set an intention. Your intention is to be awake and alert. Set this intention each morning. Warrior master skill. Continually notice when your attention is lost in thought and redirect it. This helps you wake up over and over again. Notice. How many times can you notice being lost in thought? Strive to catch yourself as frequently as possible. Noticing keeps you awake. Redirect. Redirect your attention to GOS, grounded observational state. Redirecting keeps you alert. Setting this intention each morning means that you're choosing to focus your attention in the direction of being alert. And then the task throughout the day is to apply this warrior master skill to constantly wake up, to notice when your attention is distracted, and then redirecting it to where you intended to focus it, which is this grounded observational state. And this reinforces your internal locus of control. Now, this is going to be a lifelong process, and it's something that you need to decide and commit to do for the rest of your life.